sirens and lights. We're breaking the news, taking on the fights. Iceman's in charge, the truth at the core. Holster up, free bird and box, ready for more. Tune in, log on, feel the thrill. Uncensored and real, it's the realest of wheels. Motor Cop Chronicles, turn it up loud. The fun never ends, we're drawing a crowd. In your face, raw, unapologetically free. The funniest long talk, just come ride with me. From the streets to the studio, laughter ignites. Unfiltered, we chat about wrongs and rights. Criminal tales with a twist of the funny. In the chaos of badges, we take the money. The midweek madness, we own the scene. With the wit of the wise, we reign supreme. Motor Cop Chronicles, turn it up loud. The fun never ends, we're drawing a crowd. In your face, raw, unapologetically free. The funniest long talk, just come ride with me. Cop Chronicles, turn it up loud. The fun never ends, we're drawing a crowd. In your face, raw, unapologetically free. The funniest long talk, just come ride with me. Come ride with gear, let's hit the ground running. With the Motor Cop Chronicles, the laughter's just starting. The laughter's just stunning. The laughter's just stunning.
You know how fast you were going?
What? How fast you were going?
I don't know. 10?
8.
Be advised, this is an explicit podcast. If you're easily offended, get your panties twisted into a knot. Leave now. Run to your safe space. Get your little cloth for your tears. All the opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and his guest and do not reflect the opinions of any local or government agency.
That's all, because I'm that way he can't see shit, dude.
All right, welcome everybody. Unexpected live here. We're still on live tomorrow night. This is Jim right here from the Walking Wounded Project. He drove all the way down from Michigan just to hang out with me.
It's been awesome, bro. Thanks for having me.
He must be crazy, huh?
I am actually crazy.
But he has been introduced to some Louisiana cuisine. Some of it he wasn't quite sure about. We'll start this way. I went and bought some boiled crawfish because we know the Yankees don't get. Why is he hanging out? Because Robert, I'm a fucking pod star, man. I had to take some that Louisiana Saturday Night disappeared, and I had to fucking take it on, take on the people. And but I bought some a whole bunch of crawfish and stuff because they never had crawfish. First off, I had to school him. He called him a crawdad. I said, nope. We don't call that shit crawdads.
This is a fucking dead giveaway, man.
I said, no crawdads. Well, I showed him how to peel them. I guess I should have did it more than one time. And
Yeah.
so I'm sitting there looking at him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, we're like the place we got him from was freaking awesome. They had great. He did not blink, Robert. I did not kidnap him. He did not blink. And anyway, I looked over there, and I'm like, "What the fuck are you doing, dude?" He was like, "I never seen this." Old Jim had peeled the head of the crawfish, peeled it, and he was like eating the brains and all. I'm like,
It tasted fucking terrible.
I'm like, you don't eat that part. And
I was
like,
trying to be polite.
I was like,
It
he's like,
tastes good,
this tastes like shit. And I'm like, no. I said, you pop the head off, you throw the head away, and you eat the ass. So that's what you. So after he actually figured out, he's like, oh, it is good. It's like, yeah. So we.
Oh, it was awesome. Once I ate the tail, it was delicious. Dude.
That's right, Robert. He's like, I was like, he was.
I'm a Yankee, man. I don't eat fucking crawfish. We don't eat crawfish in Michigan, man.
And today I took him down in Denham Springs. We went to Duke's, and we got him some raw oysters. We got them.
They were good. The charbroiled ones were better.
You can suck the head. I'm not a head sucker. But and then we got some charbroiled oysters, which he liked more than raw oysters.
Yep.
We got him some good, seafood gumbo, and he finally got to eat some alligator.
I did. That was delicious.
I told him, he said, tastes like chicken. I said, I told you it tastes like chicken. I think it's a little bit cleaner meat, but
better than chicken.
yeah, you got to eat. I'm not eating nobody's ass. I'll eat a crawfish ass, but that's it.
Yeah.
So he's been getting some Louisiana food. He says the best food he's ever had in his life.
Best food I've had in my life, man. You guys got great food, great people. I've had a great time being down here. I'm happy to be here. I'm gonna be sad to leave.
What's up, Tim? I didn't have a chance to cook nothing, so I went out and bought it instead. So
Yeah, your wife made us that casserole the other night.
well, that's just chicken. I mean, it was good.
It was
but
good.
It wasn't like we didn't make him some jambalaya. What I would like to make him come in his pants. I don't know if I want him to do that. That's just nasty.
Ooh, that's a little too far.
That's a little out there. But
It's questionable.
I hadn't got a chance to get him any boudin or nothing like that. But we're trying.
Yeah.
But he drove down. He's been sleeping in the bar.
I've had worse accommodations in my life. Let me tell
a
you.
whole stereo would tell him, so he come down, it's been warm, and all of a sudden it got cold. It's like, there's no, I got air conditioner here, but I don't have heat. So he's like,
Just freezing my ass off.
he's freezing his ass
You got any
off.
more blankets in here? Jesus Christ, man.
It's like he came down, it was hot, and this thing got cold at night. It's like freezing to death.
Oh, jeez.
No, boudin is not a rat. That's a nutrient. We don't know boudin is not a rat.
Boudin a rat?
No, boudin. That's
Boudin.
not even how you spell it. But who's Greg? Must be one of your people. Is Greg one of your people? Is he a Yankee too?
I don't know.
Oh no, but anyway,
Might be.
we went to Bass Pro today. Walked around. We had to walk all that fucking food off we ate and shit.
Man.
I did look Duke's in Denham. I did think they have It's a Nutri-Rat, but you can eat it. It's just like a big beaver with a rat tail on it, basically.
Did you say that was there was a season to kill them, though?
No, you just kill them all year long, and they'll pay you like $5 one. You just got to chop the tails off, bring the tails in. They'll give you $5.
Wow.
Oh, Illinois. I'm sorry. You can try to escape there.
Oh, I don't associate. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
But we went and walked around Bass Pro for a little while. He did see a big giant snapping turtle in there.
That was a big ass turtle.
And he will say, he said, all the stuff, I've heard about how stupid Louisiana people and country people are. He said, we're the nicest people ever.
Ever.
He says, you just can't drive around and we just walk around. It's like to talk to people and actually converse back with you.
Exactly.
No, most of them don't look at you great. I did take him Saturday night. I took him out with Freebird, with Viper Striker, and we went out booting 18-wheelers.
That was funny, man.
And
that was an experience.
He straight up enjoyed himself. Even though we got the cops called on us, and they did have this Denham Springs cop come up, and this Denham Springs cop was I don't know who he is. He's a younger guy. I'm not a cop when I'm doing that, but he needs to go back to school on some shit, because he said that if it was me, Freebird, and Jim right here, and
all of us being cops, man, longer than these guys, man.
They had this Rusky, I don't know, he was Russian or something out there. Well,
Ukrainian
or something, and Freebird decides, he's trying to wheel and deal. And he was a hot shot, so and Freebird even asked me, he said, what you want to do? I said, let's just do him on 300, because I usually hit him for 5. But I said, we'll do for 3, we'll be nice. Well, he's trying to wheel and deal. I don't know if that's a thing with the foreigners like that, because that's the only ones that try to do it. Like, this is the price, dude. well, Freebird's like tired of dealing with him. He's like, he tells him, he's like, look, if you want to talk to somebody about getting a deal or something, you have to go talk to my boss over there, and points at me. Well, we all know Freebird owns the fucking company.
He's the CEO and operator, man.
President and shit. And it's like, so Jim comes there and said that he's going to come talk to you. Freebird said
Freebird said
you're
you're
the boss.
yeah.
It's like, I got this shit. So he comes over there and he's like fucking talking to me. And it was like creepy though. He kept putting his hand out and he's like, put his hand on my shoulder right here. And he was like, rub my shoulder. And I'm like, dude, stop. Like, and I moved and he did it again. Well, the third time he did, it's like, dude, stop fucking touching me. It's like, just like
bro.
gay and shit, dude.
Yeah.
Don't be putting your hands on me. Of course, then he gets pissed off because, you know, the price is the price. Either going to pay it or you're going to get towed.
Right.
And then I woke the other dude up. I'm pretty sure he came from a cave somewhere, the caveman, because he looked like a fucking caveman. But he wasn't giving us that. He tried to say, well, I was going to work out. You were sleeping in your fucking truck. If you were dreaming about working out or what? It says no overnight parking. Sorry. I mean, if you were inside working out, we might be able to do something. You were sleeping. You could have been dreaming about lifting weights, but you wasn't working out.
Hell no.
But he didn't give us much shit. Of course, y'all know Freebird's got a fuse about this long. Well, no, that's his dick size. His fuse is about this long, okay? And so he finally had enough. He just blowed up on him. You know, he
did.
told him he's a stupid motherfucker and he's
Thought he
paying
didn't
and all
do
that stuff
anything
like that.
illegal.
But
He just lost his temper a little
he
bit.
did not. Nobody was ever threatened.
Nobody was threatened. No assault, nothing like that.
He was called some motherfuckers and dumbasses.
Yep.
And, you know, that was it. But nobody's.
That's
no
still protected speech.
No physical harm was told to anybody. And so now the Rooski now he calls the Popo. Now we're all sitting there waiting. Us three are sitting over there on Freebird's truck waiting. And so two Popos show up. I don't know either one of them. They got all these new cops, these little baby cops out there.
These guys are fucking. I'll tell you what, we had more time in uniform taking a shit than both of those guys do together, dude.
And he comes out and he goes over there. He talks to the two truck drivers. Then he comes and makes a beeline to us. And it's like the first thing he's out of his fucking mouth says, "First of all, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I'm gonna have to do something if y'all don't stop talking to these people."
Overly aggressive.
Overly aggressive. And I'm just sitting there looking at this dude. I'm trying to think, okay, I've been doing this shit 30 fucking years. I'm still thinking, I'm trying to find the statute and the law on overly aggressive speech, okay? I felt, I didn't, like I said, I could have just went off on this kid, but I didn't. I didn't. Like I said, I don't even think he knows I was a cop, but I was sitting there. But I'm looking at him, I said, overly aggressive. I mean, he didn't even come over and talk to us or ideas, get us our side or nothing. Just, you know, he's a Russian. He tells the fucking truth, I guess. Russians never fucking lie.
Hey, this guy said, call me a Canadian, dude.
You're a Canadian?
I'm not a Canadian.
Oh, no, he's not a Canadian. He's a
I'm a Detroiter,
he's
man.
a Detroit person.
Yeah.
He's an Irishman.
I'm an Irish Detroiter.
Irish Detroiter. But anyway, he comes over. Then he's like, and y'all. I'm not gonna say again. Y'all are out of compliance because there are state laws that go into this and stuff, into immobilizing, even if it's on private property. And of course, Freebird's like, well, what's out of compliance? I'm in compliance. He says, no, you're not. He's like, well, what is out of compliance? He said, you ought to know. And about this time, I was like, dude, I said,
Oh shit, my boy Trent right there, Trent Allen Sr. That son of a bitch is the one that said that. Sounds like a Canadian truck.
and he's like,
what's up, brother?
I looked at him, I said, and I wasn't even being nice because I'm like old enough to be this kid's dad. I was like, sir. I said, so you're telling us we're out of compliance, but you're not gonna tell us what we're doing is out of compliance so we can rectify it and fix it so we're in compliance.
Right.
Well, you ought to know. Thinking to myself, well, it's like, so if you arrest me and you're just going to bring me to jail and say, I'm going to say, what am I being arrested for?
You know what
It's
you
like,
did?
You know what you did. Or it's like, well, you're going to pull me over and give me the
Write
ticket
your own
book and say,
fucking
write your own
ticket.
ticket because you know what you did. It's like, what the fuck? So anyways, the dude ends up fucking leaving. It's like, I just wanted to look at him and say, look, could you please arrest me right now for with overly aggressive speech? Because I want that fucking payday.
Well, you want a new hot tub, right?
I'm going to get more. I'll build a fucking house with the city to be paying me after they arrested me for using overly aggressive
with a hot
speech.
tub. With a hot tub.
With
in
a
it.
hot tub with a stripper pole in it.
Yeah.
And I felt like I said, no, I'm not going to push it. Freebird will do that later. 'Cause when I told him, I said, look, I'm going over here, Freebird. Look, the cops are coming. Look, don't get arrested, okay?
Chill out, man.
Like,
Chill out for a little bit.
but so anyway, he then called the Freebird says, I want to talk to a supervisor. He calls on the phone or something, and the lieutenant says, it said, if you want to make a complaint, you can go to the PD and do it. It's like, hold on, you come out here for this fucking Russian, but you can't come out here for us. We pay
American citizens?
taxes over here, in this town. And so he wouldn't come out. So we ended up getting a sergeant out there finally, and he told us what we were out of compliance. I was like, somebody stole. It was probably the other little motherfucker. God, somebody stole the signs on the backside of the parking lot. 'Cause you got to have signage.
Like the whole pole is gone.
You got to have signage, for when they come in, because they say, well, it's part of the law. We had signs up everywhere. Nobody stole signs. They stole the fucking sign, the pole, every fucking thing. It's gone. Well, it's back in compliance. I mean, how hard was that for this stupid motherfucker to do that? I mean, just being a dick. I told him, I said, that little motherfucker probably stole it because the reason they don't like us is because these stupid truck drivers will call and complain, and they have to get in their cars and leave from whatever, they're in there playing with their little peckers or something, and they have to come out and actually do something.
Yeah.
And all you gotta do is tell them like this.
And they don't even know what to say to fucking do, bro.
It's a civil matter. It's private property. Nothing they can do. It's like, and that's all. We have dealt with Walker PD, Livingston Parish Sheriff's Office, EBR Sheriff's Office, Baton Rouge City, West Baton Rouge. Hadn't had an issue with any of them. Who we've had issues with, Denham Springs PD. I told Freebird he needs to put something up in a tree somewhere. As we get some video footage of that shit, because I doubt anybody from Denham Springs listen to me, but I'm sure some certain investigative reporters did a fucking hard on if we got some footage like that. Because, like I said, the pole wasn't knocked down. The signs went. The whole fucking pole was gone,
bro.
So that was that. So Jim was having a great time with that.
Yeah, I had fun, man. It was
just the first 2 trucks we hit that night.
Yeah. Those guys were a trip, man.
So then we eating some food and stuff. Other than that, we've just been hanging out, bullshitting, having a good time.
Yep. It's been good, man. Got to meet Iceman here for the first time. I got to meet his wife, meet a bunch of guys over at Livingston Parish Sheriff's Department the other day. Got to see their tag team, all their gear. It was cool, man. They had a really good facility there. I was impressed.
They do have a very nice training. He thought this is jail or something. They have a very nice training facility. It's awesome. So I'm talking about some of the guys. He did notice, he's like, all the guys I worked with in motors and stuff, they're like captains and lieutenants and majors and shit.
They're running shit.
And I'm fucking, and I'm like a fucking deputy.
Hey, you know what?
That's because my mouth.
Somebody's got to stay down here and watch these other fucking guys.
I'm just all fucking grunt. I can't help it. I'm always just going to be a grunt. Yeah, because I'm retiring in 8 months. When you retired in Robert, you should be getting close there. You should be. So, and I'm wondering what I was going to talk when I asked you if you were busy today, and you text me back like 6 hours later. So I guess you're busy. I was going to ask you, when you do retire, you're going to kick back up where you left off at before or anything like that.
Ooh,
so,
no.
No. So, other than that, been talking to old Sarge Jim here. He's like, I'm going to go do this because he's got some issues going on with some corrupt police chiefs and shit out where he's at and stuff. I'm like, dude, calm down. I said, slow and steady is going to win the race. Slow and steady win the race because it took me 20 years before I could get some payback on somebody that wronged me a long time ago. I ain't going to get into it on here, but me and him talked about it. 20 fucking years later, I finally got to fucking go, think, got you back, motherfucker. So, like I said, I told him slow and steady. I said, I understand you get mad and stuff, but sometimes don't jump the gun because rather you know how to investigate shit.
Oh, yeah.
Evidence, and just take your time and do it. So when you fucking hit them, you don't want to hit them with the Red Ryder BB gun. When they get hit, you want to know they get hit with like 50 cal, and it's like, you're just going to take them out.
Boom.
So just don't jump the gun stuff. Got to calm down a little bit.
Yep, you're right.
So,
So, yeah, I came down here. So just so people don't know me, my name's Jim Wilkins, a retired police sergeant from Michigan. I worked about, I don't know, third of my career in the Detroit area. I was a SWAT guy. I was laid off a bunch of times because the economy took a shit in Michigan. And I ended up on the west side of the state. And towards the end of my career, I got sick, I was an alcoholic. I became an alcoholic. So in 19, I finally hit the wall. and I ended up going to jail for domestic, which ended up getting dismissed with prejudice. But, you know, I didn't do domestic, but I did need somebody to hit me in the forehead with a fucking sledgehammer. So I put myself through rehab, got sober, and, you know, I've been working on kind of rebuilding myself since then. So that's kind of my backstory. You want me to just go into it, Dan?
You say whatever you want.
Anyway, so a few months, or I don't know, 6 months back, you know, I was a cop for a long time, man. And I took my job seriously in the fact that my job was to protect and serve the community members. They were in my charge. It didn't matter who they were, you know, whether they were a prostitute or a crackhead or some billionaire or just some average Joe. I provided the same service. And I think we've gotten away from that, really far away from that in these years we're in now. But so, you know, I was out of work. I've been out of the job since 2019. And several months back, I was contacted by some community members from a place called Coloma Township, Michigan, which is on the southwest corner of Michigan in Berrien County. And it was some community members have been concerned about the government's operations there, specifically concerned about the police chief who's there now. So last year, this police chief from Coloma Township, Michigan, he got into a crash off duty, and I've seen the MVR footage. A lot of cops I know have seen the MVR footage. And if you watch it, you know, you can tell that the Coloma chief is drunk and crashed off into the ditch. Another neighboring jurisdiction, Benton Township, handled the crash. And there was just a lot of cover-up going on with this video. And, you know, the chief lied to him initially that it wasn't his car. And then you hear the audio footage. They put him in the back of the squad car, and one of the cops says, you know who that is? That's the Coloma police chief. Well, that's the last piece of audio footage you hear. Well, there were some people in the community that had taken an exception to that because that's, you know, not fair. You know, if that was just a normal citizen who wasn't law enforcement, they probably would have been at least ran through SFSTs, and they probably would have at least been, you know, vetted to make sure they weren't intoxicated, and that none of that happened. So these people ended up kind of stirring things up. They went to the commission, they went to the council meetings, the township board meetings. They had posted stuff on social media about it. Well, the police chief, he's got himself an attorney out of Birmingham, Michigan, law firm, that every time somebody says anything bad about this guy, he sends him he has this law firm send him a cease and desist order. Take all your stuff down. None of this is true. You're damaging his reputation. Well, the problem is when you're a police chief, man, you're an appointed official. You're a public official appointed by the local government, and the community members of that community have the right to question you, and they have the right to criticize you. And they can pretty much say whatever they want about you, man. You're a public figure, you know. Most public figures let that stuff roll off their back, you know, especially if it's not true. But so they'd reached out to me because they'd been getting retaliated against by the township. You know, they were told by the township supervisor that if they didn't stop talking bad about the police chief, that they were going to get quote unquote nasty with these people. So these people reached out to me and asked me for help. I was a cop, man. That's what I did. I helped people. And so I started digging into it. I made a post on my Facebook about this police chief because I know him personally. I worked with him. I watched how dirty he operated when we worked together in the city of Benton Harbor. We had a couple officers get indicted in like 08, 09. Like they were doing a bunch of dirty stuff, planting dope and shit, stealing money. So when those guys proffered to the feds, I remember that day I was sitting in the station, and here comes this guy, the police chief now in Coloma. He's working as an officer in Benton Harbor. He was the only motherfucker there who looked like the cat that ate the fucking canary, man. He was sweating bullets. They're up there telling on us. They're up there telling on all of us. And I said, they're not telling on me, motherfucker, because I don't do shit wrong. I don't fucking do that kind of shit to people. So I don't know exactly how all that played out because I wasn't involved in it. That was way above my head. But all I know is only 2 guys went down for all that, and there was way more guys involved. So that's just kind of the backstory there. So fast forward to recently. So I put out a post about this dude, and I told him, that cease and desist order stuff is unconstitutional, bro. You can't order community members to be silent when it comes to their elected officials and their appointed officials. That's a constitutional right to criticize those people and hold them accountable publicly if necessary. They do not have a platform to stand on with any cease and desist order. That's a constitutional violation. That's a violation of your First Amendment right. So I put that post out. Well, that was it. I did that. The people that that had reached out to me, the heat kind of got turned down on them, and people stopped coming by and fucking with them and shit. The police. So I thought it was a win. I was done. Well, in my with Walk and Wounded project, I have 2 training platforms I do. One's a mental health awareness for law enforcement, and the other one's a domestic violence response for law enforcement. Because I put that together because I've been seeing a lot of shit in the news about cops not doing their job when it comes to domestic violence. And I guess the one thing I'll say about that is you're not the fucking prosecutor, okay? When you go to the domestic, if it's, serious injuries and you got probable cause, you better fucking arrest somebody because it'll be your ass in the hot seat if you don't. And that's what's happening with a lot of the shit that's happening now where these guys aren't arresting people and then people are getting killed and shit. And then the police are standing their hands up like, well, we didn't know. Well, if you had did your job, then none of that shit would have happened. So that's kind of the trainings I'm doing. Well, I had a connection with Inkster Police Department, which is in the Detroit area. And that's where I came from, as a cop. That's where I originally started. And so I'd posted on my Facebook, hey, I'm going to be doing this training. This is the PD I'm doing it at. Just kind of advertisement. Well, I'm on my way over there, and it's like the day before the training, and I'm in Dearborn, Michigan. I get a phone call from the police chief, and she's like, hey, I got a problem, man. This mayor came in, and he's got a letter that was written anonymously, by the way, which I have a fucking major issue with. If it's true, then why don't you put your fucking name on it? And it also had my invoice attached to it. So the weird part about that was the only people that had my invoice was me and the police chief in Inkster. So the only way that could have gotten mailed is if somebody hacked into my fucking email, So I did have a breach in my email. I had some breaches in my social media. Basically the letter was a slanderous, libelous letter about how I got fired because I got convicted of domestic violence, which is not true. That case got dismissed. I was fired from my agency because I was sick. They used the FML rules because I couldn't come back to work because I was still recovering from my complex PTSD. I had a traumatic brain injury. I had a bunch of shit wrong with me, man. And it was all occupational shit. And instead of, helping me and, guiding me back to the job, which is what should be done, I was fired and thrown away like a broken toy. So, where was I at with that, Dan? I lost my train of thought.
You were on the island of broken toys.
Yeah, I'm on the island of broken toys. So anyways, the Inkster thing. So fucking this letter says all this bullshit about me, how I got ran out of all my agencies, all this bullshit. So I started firing back on social media I showed them all my commendations I'd gotten, all the letters of recommendation I'd received from the police chiefs I've worked for, the decorations I've received in my service. And I posted my termination letter, bro. I said, you guys are saying this shit that I got fired for domestic. Let me show you what the fuck really happened. And I've been saying it, but so here, I'll put it out there for everybody to see, bro. This is my termination letter, And so then I started going on, I kind of came unhinged a little bit. I was on Facebook making a lot of posts about this guy and about the government in Berrien County. And, mostly what I was doing was I was trying to get somebody to fucking do something about it. Nobody wants to do anything. They don't want to fucking get involved. Everybody's apathetic. I'm going to keep my head down. I got this in my life, so I don't want to really do. That's how these fucking guys win, is they count on us not wanting to pursue it because it'll be like opening a box of fucking tarantulas, right? So this goes on. So I'd actually left where I was living, which is in Van Buren County, Michigan. Me and my baby's mama separated. We're not together. But I got 4 kids that live at that house. So when this started to, when I saw where this was going, I decided I was going to take myself out of that to kind of separate them from it, because I didn't really know what was going to be the end result with this. So I went to a buddy's house, a guy I grew up with. We went to high school together, went to college together. I mean, I've known this guy my whole fucking life. Trust him 100%. So I'm staying with him. No attachment to that house at all. Never lived there. Don't get mail there. None of that shit. Well, last Wednesday, this fucking guy's beating at the door, announcing himself as a Kalamazoo County Sheriff's deputy. Well, I got 2 problems with the way he came. First, he came in an unmarked car that didn't look anything like a law enforcement car. It was like an HHR bullshit. And he was wearing plain clothes. And if you're here as a deputy, what criminal investigation are you conducting? Because in Michigan, law enforcement and civil stuff is separated for the most part. So I didn't answer the fucking door. I'm like, fuck this guy. Well, he was a process server. He lost a card. And now I know what's up. It's this chief who his MO is to hit people with cease and desist orders to get them to shut up talking about his dirt, because he doesn't want people to know what kind of dirty motherfucker he really is. And so, and I've got a ton of shit on my page. If you guys want to go to it, you can go through it. I'm not going to waste a bunch of time going through every little detail. So my question, I'm like worried about this. Like, how the fuck did they know I was here? So I've got PTSD. So part of it's paranoia. So it triggers me, man. I'm off to the races, bro. I'm ready for a fight. My senses are all heightened. I'm rolling through fucking shit that happened to me throughout the years, and it's just hit me like waves. It's really, really, really damaged my mental health state at the time. So I kind of like, well, I'm held up in the house like a fucking Venezuelan refugee hiding from Homeland Security and shit, And Friday comes and this motherfucker comes back beating on the door. And this time my buddy was home. So we held up in there. He fucking went away, and I decided it was time for me to leave, So here's the thing, y'all. There's only 2 fucking ways that those people could have known where I was. And this is all over serving a civil fucking cease and desist order. Remember that. This is a civil matter that this motherfucker utilized his law enforcement resources to find me. So he either pinged my fucking phone, which you have to have a search warrant for, or exigent circumstance, or he had a tracking device put on my car somehow. So I decided, fuck it, I'm popping smoke. I got with Iceman here, and we made the plans for me to come down here, because I was paranoid, man. I felt like I was being surveilled because I'm talking. Why? Because I'm whistleblowing about a corrupt police chief and their corrupt-ass government that they've got, and then their corrupt team of lawyers they've got. These lawyers, man, they need to be fucking disbarred, because they're sending out cease and desist orders to protect public officials from public scrutiny. How the fuck does that work, dude? If you're in a position of power and you're in a position that public trust, then that comes with scrutiny. If you don't like that scrutiny, then go do something else, And so the way they react and all these cease and desist orders, it really adds to the fact that what people are saying about these people is the truth, because people don't react to bullshit like that. Is let that roll off their back. So I drove all the way down here, over 1,000 miles in one fucking day. And then I went out and booted cars with Iceman and Freebird.
You only passed out twice.
One time. Was it twice?
It's
I was
twice.
asleep, man.
Yeah, you passed out
I
twice.
was fucking
That's
done. Well,
okay.
then the next day,
Yeah, it's
I was
okay.
fucking dead because you.
Oh yeah. The next day I was like, okay, get to me. I'm like, I woke up. I was like, oh, that dude's tired. I'm gonna let him sleep and stuff like that. Then I like texted him like at 1. Didn't get done, so I waited a while. Like, well, it's got to be about 2:00. I went in there and I was like, fuck, I hope I don't have to call the fire department. This dude done died in my shit or something. So I went in there and I like poked him and he didn't move, but he wasn't stiff or nothing, not unless he'd been gone so long. Rigor mortis had set in and faded. But then I poked him again and he moved. And I was like, hey, you gonna get up? And she's like, oh, Mom, give me a sandwich. I was like, it's 2:00, dude. Oh shit.
I didn't even know where the fuck I was, bro. So my point that, what really I'm trying to bring exposure to is, I've reached out to the Federal Bureau of Investigations because I felt like I was being targeted. They fucking don't care, I mean, they and then, I've sent I've posted stuff on my social media. The prosecutor's office knows what's going on, and they're not doing shit. I've talked to people at the state police in Michigan. They don't want to do shit. So it's like, where do you go to fix this shit? How do you get relief? When we're living in the United States, man, this is United States of America. Men and women have fucking died to protect the rights that we have in this country, man. They have paid the ultimate sacrifice, whether it's military or police or fire, whoever. They have paid the ultimate fucking sacrifice to protect our Bill of Rights. And we cannot allow some small ass little funky township in some nowhere county in Michigan to fucking abridge those rights, man. That's how it starts. If you let that kind of shit go at a small level, it blows up, man. It just spreads like a cancer. And in that area, there's all kinds of shit going on, man. They had a Baroda Lake Township. The chief there got walked out last week by Michigan State Police because he's under investigation for some criminal shit, And then Bangor, Michigan, they've got all kinds of crazy shit going on up there, man. I mean, it's a mess up there. They got a city manager who's also the fucking police chief. So he doesn't answer to anybody except.
So he's the manager and the police chief.
Yeah, he's a fucking manager. How do you do that?
I mean, it don't really matter because most that's what me and you were talking before. I was like, I believe all police chiefs should have to be elected
by the people.
By the people, not no appointed police chiefs anywhere.
Yep.
Because basically, the mayor or whoever runs the city, because whoever's an appointed police chief, he's just doing whatever the mayor says. The mayor's got his hand stuck up his ass just doing this shit.
Yeah.
It's just you're a puppet. So
Right.
I think all police chiefs should be elected. All law enforcement, like heads like that, should be elected because that way they can run their department.
Well,
and the people get to choose, not who the mayor thinks I can control this motherfucker and they can do what I want.
Right. Well, it used to be back when, shit, you started before I did, Iceman, but I mean, I did it for a long time. And, when I got into it, man, any fucking indication of corruption was investigated fully. Even if it turned out to be bullshit, whatever, they investigated it fully. IA opened a case. They investigated it fully because at the end of the year, the FBI is coming to look at those fucking investigations. And they want to make sure that these police departments are holding their people accountable. That's the way it was in the big cities anyway. So I just, I don't know. There's a lot of shit going on here. There's a couple dirty ass attorneys involved. One guy's from Portage, Michigan, this other firm in Birmingham. So my plan is that I'm talking to a guy from the Innocence Project, and because there's a couple guys that reached out to me during this whole thing who told me that they were actually framed by this police chief when he was an officer in Benton Harbor. So one guy went to prison for 3 years for shooting somebody that he didn't shoot. And the victim of that shooting is even saying that he wasn't shot by this guy, that he actually shot himself. Well, I guess the way it went down was the kid shot himself playing basketball because he's fucking around with his gun in his basketball shorts or whatever, no holster, and shot himself. So he goes to the hospital. Well, anybody in law enforcement knows GSW is getting a police call. So they send the police over there, and this fucking guy that's the police chief, he shows up. And he basically tells his kid that he's going to say that this other guy shot him or he's going to send him to prison for 2 years. So this kid doesn't know any better. You know, so he just fucking plays ball, signs a false statement, sends this other dude up the river, and he does 3 years in prison. Now his life's all fucked up. And then when I talked to the guy on the phone, man, he was genuine. You know, I was a cop for 20 years, man. I know when somebody's telling me the truth, even on the fucking phone. So this guy's emotional. You could hear it in his voice that he was desperate for somebody to listen to him, and he wanted to clear his fucking name, man. You know, and the guy admitted, he's like, look, I sold dope, and I got a couple domestics, but I didn't carry guns, and I never shot nobody. And so the other guy I talked to called me from fucking prison, bro, and he's telling me his story. And he said that he got sent to prison by this guy, same dirty cop, for what was it, 2nd-degree homicide or some shit. Well, the story was they were at some bar, and this other dude that got killed, he started a fight with the guy that goes to prison over this, and he was armed himself with a crowbar. So he's attacking this guy with a fucking crowbar. The guy ends up being able to disarm him of the crowbar, hits him in the head with it a couple of times, and kills the guy. Well, there's a bunch of witnesses that were all, you know, had signed statements and all this other bullshit, and then they were going to court. And then this guy from prison told me that he said all the witnesses were contacted by Benton Harbor police, and they were intimidated into not coming to court to testify, recant their statements, and this guy gets sent to prison for second-degree homicide or some shit. And that sounded like a self-defense case to me, really. I mean, somebody comes at you with a crowbar and they're sorry enough to lose it in the fight, and you are able to get it, and they try to kill you with it. I think you're justified in hitting them with it a couple times at least, you know? So, you know, this kind of shit, dude. Like, I did my job. I wasn't a fucking saint, bro. I'm not going to sit up here and say I was. I fucking gave some street justice out in my career. But I wasn't dirty about it, and the people that got it knew it was coming, and they knew they deserved it when it was done, you know? So most of the time, man, when I was shutting the door on somebody in the cell, they were saying thank you, you know? Because I didn't plant dope on them. I didn't put a gun on them. I didn't try to jam them up on some bullshit that they didn't do, because I didn't need to do that shit. You know, I didn't need to create probable cause to build case files that I could show that I was successful in convictions. I didn't give a fuck about that shit, dude. I didn't care about the conviction rates. I didn't care about none of that shit. I cared about solving the fucking problem at the moment. And then if there was something that needed to be dealt with extensively, like a child rapist or, you know, some motherfucker, you know, that swindled some old woman out of a bunch. I mean, I poured myself into those cases because those people needed somebody that could stand in between them and these assholes and defend them. And that's what the police are for. That's what we're supposed to be there for. We're supposed to be an objective third party, you know? And so, you know, I struggle with this shit, man. You know, I was proud of that job I did. And I'm still proud of it. But there's some bad players that, let's face it, over the last, 10 years, we've been dealing with shitty fucking leadership in this country, with the exception of President Donald Trump.
What, you didn't think Joe Biden did a good job?
No comment.
I'll say it.
You say it.
He's a pudding head. I mean, all that motherfucker was thinking about, I was like, I go back to my room, some Jell-O and what the pudding.
That motherfucker shit his pants at the at some summit thing in front of the entire world. Come on, that's our leader. Give me a fucking break. So, you know, but we've had bad leadership, and it's trickled down to local governments, and we've allowed people to get into positions of authority that first of all had no fucking business being in law enforcement, number one. And then number two, we let them climb up. You know, it's like shit floats to the top in law enforcement. It's like you shit in a lake, that fucking turd floats to the top, right? That's the same thing as law enforcement, man. These shitty motherfuckers are getting taken care of. They're being coddled. They're having interference ran for them, so they don't get fired when they should. And then they're climbing up to fucking rank, you know. And it's like, god damn, man. So we need to deal with this shit. We can't sit by and allow government officials to fucking threaten and intimidate their fucking community members, man. That's Stalinism, and that's some USSR shit, and the USSR doesn't exist for a reason, okay? Because it failed. And these motherfuckers are trying to recreate it, you know? And it's just an ideology, man. It's a sickness, and it's something that, you know, I hate seeing it, you know, coming into law enforcement the way it has. You know, shit, I tell my son he wants to be a cop when he gets older, and I said, you ain't gonna be no fucking cop. I said, you want to do civil service, you go be a firefighter. Everybody likes a firefighter.
Yeah, people like firefighters.
Yep.
We were talking about that
Yep.
yesterday, I think.
Trent, fucking my man Trent up here. He's a firefighter, long-time firefighter.
He said he thinks you voted for shit mirror.
You know I didn't vote for that fucking cunt, dude. I was supporting fucking James Craig for governor, and they fucked him out of it. He was the ex-Detroit police chief. He's a solid motherfucker, and he was running for governor on a Republican ticket, and they pulled this, like, signature bullshit where they all, like, a bunch of these Republican candidates got fucking axed, not even allowed to run, because they knew that those fuckers were going to kick Whitmer's ass.
Well, I'm going to say this. I was just looking at this stuff while you're talking. We're supposed to have an execution coming up in Louisiana because our governor, who I do like, because our last governor, John Bel Edwards, he only did one fucking good thing his entire career, and that was pardon and pet Nutrirat. Other than that, he didn't do shit. That's the highlight of his fucking career, okay? He's a fucking just done. But anyway, we were starting executions up, but we're going to, you can't get the fucking shit they put push through the needle no more, and they don't want you to electrocute people, so they were going to use that nitrogen oxide.
Yeah, how much does that shit cost?
Well, I don't know, but anyway, this federal judge on Tuesday blocked the scheduled execution of a death row inmate who was set to die by nitrogen asphyxia by state penitentiary in Angola. After conducting a day-long hearing in the U.S. District Court in Baton Rouge last Friday, Judge Shelley Dick, let me tell you what, Shelley Dick has got the right last name. She's a fucking dick, okay?
That's her last
she's
name?
She's a fucking, I think she's an Obama fucking appointed shit or something like D-I-C-K, dick, like
dick.
a
Okay.
cock.
Okay.
And she's just a fucking, lip-tart fucking one of these, diehard liberal judges. She granted on Jesse Hoffman's request for an injunction and said a trial should be held, blah, blah. See, they're trying to say this nitrogen shit is cruel and unusual punishment. Myself, and I don't care who this fucking pisses off, don't do it like that. Let's go back to the old days, or let's go back to firing squads. Let's do that, and then I think we got to do it like on pay-per-view, and you can pay to watch it, and then you can make money off of it too. Because this motherfucker's probably been on death row like 15, 20 years. It's time for him to go. Bye-bye. Everybody's like, oh, what about his constitutional rights? What about if it might be painful? What about the constitutional rights for the motherfuckers that he
fucked up,
killed? Yeah. What about the pain and suffering that he fucking put on those people before he killed them and shit like that? Mm-hmm. But we're gonna worried about some fucking dirtbag that's on fucking death row that we don't want to, because he killed a young lady that was 28 years old, an advertising accountant in New Orleans. Her nude body was found near Pearl River in St. Tammany Parish. She had been shot in the head execution style, okay? But we should worry about if the execution is going to be painful for this piece of shit rapist, murdering motherfucker.
Yeah.
Shelley Dick is a fucking dick. She's a cunt, okay?
Yeah.
She's be taken off the bench. I think all these lip-tard federal judges need to fucking go. Stay out of our fucking business. This isn't a federal case. This is a state fucking case. Stay out of our fucking business. Let us execute pieces of shit, murdering rapist motherfuckers if we want to.
Right.
Because I can't stand this shit.
Well, the problem with these judges is, man, they get in these fucking courtrooms and they think they have some sense of ownership over this courtroom, like it belongs to them. It doesn't belong to you. It belongs to the fucking people. You're just a referee to make sure the process is followed properly. You're not up here to give your fucking opinion. You're not here to give your personal, spin on shit. You're a fucking judge, and the prosecutors are the same fucking way, man. It's all about making money.
Well,
it's not about serving justice.
They're like, all these motherfuckers like, oh, we're they say that means that is risk inflicting torture, a cruel death. You did read what this you just listen to what this motherfucker did. He raped and fucking shot her in the back of the fucking head, dumped her fucking nude body somewhere. We worried about cruel and unusual punishment on the motherfucker that did this shit.
Yeah.
That's what's wrong today, okay? Mm-hmm. Public execution. Let's go old cowboy style. Of course, they say, oh, this is racist. It's not racist. They fucking did it to cowboys, too. Let's build some gallows. Or fuck that. Let's just go to, way back when and make us some fucking things that's fucking just chop fuckers' heads off and shit, okay?
I agree.
Or, hey, let's do it real fun and let's do it with chainsaws, okay? It don't want to hurt for a second. I'm just saying, who gives a shit about some dirtbag piece of motherfucking rapist killer? Judge Dick.
Apparently,
Judge fucking Dick.
Judge Dick.
I hope when she goes home and she's letting her probably some transgender sexual fuck her in the ass or something, that it hurts. I hope he tears your asshole, Judge Dick.
Pops
hope your
it
asshole
out.
gets
Pops
dick.
it out.
Yeah. Okay, I'm finished with that rant. Go ahead with what you're doing.
Oh, so well, since we got on that, there's another. Let me shed some light on this. This actually touched me personally. So in 2023, I was still with my baby mama, and it was
The mother of your children.
I say baby mom. Sorry,
say
mother
that,
of my
baby mom,
children.
sorry, yeah.
Okay, mother of my children. So, good woman. Best woman I've ever known. So we get a phone call. It's like after midnight. It's New Year's Eve. So it was New Year's Day, and it was her mother, and she was at the hospital in Kalamazoo, and she said that Kristen's brother David had been shot. And the last thing we knew was they were over at the property over by Grandma and Grandpa's, and they were having a New Year's Eve party, setting off fireworks and shit, Well, this asshole that was over there, well, there was two people killed this night. My brother-in-law, David Reed, was killed, and there was another young man killed. His name was Josh. I can't remember his last name. You guys could look this up. It happened in Lawrence, Michigan, in Van Buren County in 2023, New Year's Day. So this asshole that's at the party, he decides it's a good idea while he's drunk and high or whatever the fuck he had going on to arm himself with a modified AR-15 and laterally fire into the fucking woods. And he had a modified trigger on it. He had a binary trigger. And if y'all don't know what a binary trigger is, it's a trigger you can install on your rifle that fires when you pull it and it fires when you let it go. So it's two rounds for each trigger pull. So if you're working that trigger, man, you could rip through 30 rounds pretty quick, which is exactly what he did. Well, he ripped through them rounds and he headshot Josh and killed that kid instantly. He was only 40 early 40s. This guy had a family. He was from California. My brother-in-law, he was a tough motherfucker, man. He was redneck tough. So he was hit like in the torso. He got hit in the arm, and he was still alive. Well, the fucking Van Buren County Sheriff's Department is the one that handles the call, and they totally fucked it up. They didn't put up no crime scene tape. They didn't fucking process the scene. They had a lot of EMS guys out there doing their job, trying to get these guys out of the woods, get them to the ambulance, all that shit. No helicopter was called for. There was a landing area. They could have landed a helicopter out there. So we're dealing with a bunch of cops in Van Buren County on to do their fucking job. So David, and then my mother, or Kristen's mom, my child's mother, she's going to go in the ambulance with her son because he's fucking dying. He's bleeding to death. And this fucking deputy tells her she can't go. She's not free to leave. So she has to stay behind. And he takes that ambulance ride, and that's the last time she saw him alive because he fucking died at the hospital. So the detectives for this fucking department, they didn't even come out till 5 or 6 p.m. the next night to even look at this crime scene. So by then, it's all cleaned up. All the brass is gone. You got no trajectory analysis. You don't even know if this guy fucking intended to do this. You have no investigation. So, motherfucker, he gets arrested and he goes to jail, but they fucked up the crime scene so bad that when it came time to prosecute the case, the guy got like reckless discharge of a firearm causing death. And he did a year. He did 6 months a year in the county jail, and then he's out on probation for killing 2 people with a fucking. Now I'm a Second Amendment guy. I believe in the right to bear arms. I believe in the right to possess firearms and carry them wherever the fuck I want to carry them. But I'm responsible with my firearms. I don't shoot in the fucking unknown areas. I don't shoot in the homes. I don't shoot someplace where I don't know somebody might be standing. That's because that's your job. If you're going to fire a firearm, you're responsible for where that round hits. Doesn't matter if it hits a house. Doesn't matter if you hit your target. If you hit a tree, we need to know where those rounds went. So we have to fucking be conscious of that when we're carrying our firearms. And if we have to use them, make sure we're using them in a manner where we're not putting other people's lives in danger. if at all possible, right? So this goes on, man. It's like I couldn't fucking believe it, dude. It was the worst fucking case investigation I'd ever fucking seen. I couldn't believe that there wasn't very much public outcry from the community over it, you know, because David was white trash. You know, he had, you know, a troubled past. You know, he was an at-risk kid. He grew up rough. You know, he was the victim of physical and sexual abuse as a kid. You know, his mom she was a victim of domestic violence, you know, so there was a lot of shit that went on in his life that set him up to kind of fucking be stumbling as an adult instead of hitting the ground running. So, you know, because he was who he was, nobody gave a fuck. And that really opened my eyes to the fact that our law enforcement agencies are fucking failing our communities. And I'm not saying every law enforcement agency, but I'm saying that right there is an example. That's a fucking fail, man. You didn't bring justice to that family. The family in California, they couldn't even afford to fly that one kid's body back. They had to have him cremated and then fly his ashes back, you know? The last time they saw him, he was leaving for Michigan to hang out with family and stuff and have a good time. And then the next thing they see him coming back in a fucking urn, you know?
Oh yeah.
So that was, you know, that hit my family tough, and that, you know, that drove my child's mother, man. Her mental health crashed because of this, man. It was just terrible, bro. I couldn't believe at that moment. I was ashamed of law enforcement because people are looking at me from the family like, what's going on here, Jim? You know, how is this possible? And I'm telling them, I told them why. I said, they fucked the crime scene up. You got no evidence. You got no they should have let the state police come and do their thing. That's what they do, man. The state police run in Michigan, man. MSP is the top fucking notch for crime scene investigation, man. They got that shit down to a science, you know? I mean, one of my friends, Tom, he's a retired lieutenant from MSP. He ran the crime lab in Lansing, so they're fucking squared away when it comes to evidence. You know, if you got a case and you have them process it, they're going to find out what the fuck happened. Well, Van Buren County, you know, they have these pissing matches with each other. They have pissing matches with the state police or with local agencies, and who suffers when they have those pissing matches? The people, you know.
Yep.
Let's get together and work together as a team. You know, nobody's trying to outshow somebody. You know, this is a concerted effort amongst agencies at that point. And that's not happening, bro. These guys, you got these agencies, they want to fucking do everything, but they don't have the fucking resources to do everything. So they fucking half-ass it, you know? So I'm bitter about that, bro. You know, I'm selling my home in Van Buren County partially because of this shit, you know, because I just don't want to fucking live there no more.
Because of the dude.
Yep. So
we gotta remember, slow and steady, man.
Yeah, no, I get a little, you know, it's just, you know, for me, it's personal, man. You know, when you come out, this is the whole thing with this dirty motherfucker that was doing, you know, that surveilled, you know, he surveilled me. He surveilled an American citizen without a warrant, and then he harassed an American citizen without probable cause, and then he exacerbated an American citizen's mental health disorder, knowing that person has a mental health disorder. And they did that, they were trying to make it look like I was the bad guy, trying to make me look like I'm crazy. Well, that's easy to do, you know, especially when I'm triggered. But just because somebody has a mental health disorder doesn't mean they're fucking crazy, bro. It doesn't mean they're dangerous. It doesn't mean any of those things. You know, you need to read up on what post-traumatic stress disorder is, what the symptoms are, and how it manifests itself.
Well, what I think you should do is like start wearing makeup and a wig and a dress and call yourself Samantha or something like that, and identify something, you know, whatever. So when he comes at you, call him he's a transphobe and all kind of shit like that.
Yeah, I could do that. But then I'd have to become a tranny, bro, and I don't really want to do that.
Not really, because they got some of them out there. They still got beards and shit.
Yeah, but that's still fucking weird, dude.
I can see you like in a little sundress, high-waisted, you know, right?
Well, do I have to wear a thong, or can I still wear boxer shorts?
No, you can still wear boxer shorts. Okay. And then you don't even have to shave your legs, and just go out all hairy and shit like that. So
just manly.
I'm just a natural woman with a penis.
I identify as a man who's a woman who looks like a man.
Yes, I mean you can do all that.
Yeah. So, but yeah. Well, in any event, man, I tell you what, I'm in it to win it, man. I'm not gonna be intimidated by these fucking people. This is America. You know, you can't operate how you want, especially when you're going contrary to the Constitution, man. That shit just ain't gonna fly.
You operate without a license, you can go to jail.
Right.
Because you have to have a doctorate, I think, to be able to operate.
You talk about surgery.
Yeah.
Well, they called me an operator, and I was a door kicking fucking entry guy. You know.
I'm just saying, I don't want you to get in trouble for operating without a license.
No, I ain't gonna do that. But
I just put Band-Aids on stuff. Come here.
Yeah. So that's it, man. That's kind of where I'm just happy I came down here, man. It really is what I needed. I needed to get the fuck out of there. I needed a change of scenery, and I needed something to do that could kind of recenter me a little bit, which is exactly what's fucking happened. So
yeah, we got some spices in them now, so
yeah,
it's much better.
I'm probably gonna have diarrhea when I get home.
No, you're gonna go home with like, man, this food tastes like shit.
It's what's gonna happen. I'll probably lose a bunch more weight because I fucking won't be able to eat it.
Tastes like shit. I mean, where's the flavor?
I'll tell you what, man. Those oysters, the charbroiled oysters that had cheese and jalapeno on it. Holy fuck, man, that was delicious. The gumbo was delicious.
Yep, like I said, everybody say y'all just because we sound like rednecks. Like I said, like I told him, I showed him today I didn't cut none down. I showed him a thistle, and I was like, he's like, what is that? I'm like, well, you can eat it. You don't want to eat the real big ones. You can eat the small ones. He's like, why do you eat it? Because it's nothing but like, it looks like a big sticker bush. But it's wild celery, and it's fine. What's that old song? Country boys will survive. That's right, you city folks. You go right in, make fun of us country people. Shit ever hits the fan? Y'all starve to death.
They will starve, or we'll come and take all your shit because you won't have any guns.
when that bodega runs out of your soft serve and your freaking Newports and shit.
And when fucking there ain't no more Starbucks to go get your morning latte at. Yeah. That's Hank Williams Jr. Country Boy Will Survive. Great song.
Of course we are. Yeah. Well, we're gonna be live tomorrow night with the midweek news as normal. This was extra. I apologize. We were supposed to go like live at 7, and I had so many technical difficulties. I was about to throw my shit out the fucking window. So we will be hopefully on time. I believe Freebird to them. Everybody will be here. So y'all come back at 7. Hit the buttons, like, follow, tell your friends and frenemies about us. Just trying to get a little bit bigger. A few more months, well, y'all probably saw it today because I just had my head down on the field. I don't have to wear this shit no more. It'll just be me live. Y'all can see how beautiful I am.
Delicious Peters.
You might ask me to put the filter back on, but I don't know. It'll make my life easier anyway,
Yeah.
But I'm going to have some good stories. Of course, I'm always going to rant, rave, and bitch about stuff.
It's your American right to do that shit.
It's my constitutional right, and it's my opinion.
Yeah.
So, everybody, y'all have a good night. Check out the website, motorcopchronicles.com.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks to everybody for all the hospitality down here. I really appreciate it.
And like I said, like and follow, and we'll be on tomorrow night on our regularly scheduled program. I guess, peace out, people.
Peace in the Middle East.
Hope y'all were entertained at your laughs. If you were offended, fuck off. The crew hopes to see you back next week. Same time, same place, bring a friend or foe. We are the lions, kings of the jungle. We don't take no shit. Were you offended by the podcast? Too much cursing, not PC enough. Well, fuck your feelings.